You're welcome.
Thank you.
This is Uganda Martyrs Ministry of Namugongo. My name is Joshua, and I am your guide.
Thank you.
For questions, you're free to ask me as I explain to us we move around. So I believe you've found so many people around the place, even the other side of the Catholic Church.
Yes.
That's if you came from that side. So we are preparing for 3rd June.
3rd June.
Yes, it's a Martyrs celebration day.
Yes.
Prayers in memory of the Uganda Martyrs. The Uganda Martyrs are 49 people who gave up their lives and died for Christ in different places, on different days. So why did they choose 3rd June? Yet the 49 died on different days and in different places. And why this place? It's because on 3rd June is when the highest number of the Christians were killed together. And all this highest number was killed in this place, Namugongo. 25 out of the 49 were killed from here. Then the 24 were killed from in different other places on different days. So the Christian persecution started way back in 1885, and the climax was 1886. Then it went on reducing until it became normal in Uganda, although it may be still there, but not as much as it was during that period of 1885 and 1887. So there was a king who was called King Mwanga. He became a king at the age of 18, and this is the king who ordered for the killing of these Christians. Ever since he became a king, Christians suffered persecution. They were tortured and killed. Others were killed in secret. So the actual number of people killed is not known, but we only know 49 that were identified. So why he ordered for the killing of these people is because he saw them as a threat to his kingdom. How were they a threat to his kingdom? Is after the coming of the missionaries who preached the gospel. These people who converted to Christianity deserted the old traditions that they used to practice, because before the coming of Christianity there was a religion, and that was the African traditional religion, the use of juju, and for them they had so many gods because they believed that one god was not enough to satisfy all their desires. So the missionaries came preaching the gospel of worshiping only one God. And even this gospel this people came preaching was preaching or teaching against having more than one wives. And yet in the kingdom, a man is determined by the number of wives he has. So the king, as a king, he had to have so many wives. And in Uganda it was believed that the king is the husband to all the women in the kingdom. And so there is a name that is called the king. It is Bafe. Bafe is a Luganda word which means our husband.
Our husband.
Yes. So all the ladies call the king Bafe. So when the missionaries came and they were preaching, these boys started speaking against this thing of having more than one wife, preaching against worshipping many gods, and also learning about the 10 commandments. They started filtering out the commands that came from the king, because the king had the final say. So whatever he commanded had to be accomplished, including killing, raiding other kingdoms' properties, and all that. So whenever he ordered Christians to kill, they refused, because the Bible condemns murder. Each time he ordered them or called upon the young men to go with him to raid other kingdoms, they refused, because the Bible is against stealing other people's properties. So as if that was not enough, these guys, the way they used to pray, became a threat to the king. They gathered prayer. The Lord's Prayer was all they knew at first. Our Father, who art in heaven, Hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, as in which kingdom, and to come into whose kingdom to do what? So the king had worries that these guys could be calling a new king to come and overthrow him. So by that he declared prayers, fellowships illegal in his kingdom. So since 1885, whoever was caught praying and fellowshipping was punished, and others were killed in secrets. The first four to be identified were killed on 31st January 1885. As time went on, others were killed in between there until 1886, around the month of May. This month here, the king ordered for the capture of all the Christians and be brought to Namugongo and to be burnt. Why this place? Is because this place was established for killing people who become rebels in the kingdom. So the Christians are not the only people killed from here. There are lots of other people killed in this place. As you're coming, you read Namugongo 1760, or even at the entrance, the gate that is Namugongo 1760. That is the year they started killing people from this place. So after those people, others came up being killed until 1886, when the Christians were killed. So the Christians followed a group of Muslims who were over 70 that had just been killed by King Mutesa I, who invited the missionaries to come and spread the gospel. Yes. So we thank God that now the place is no longer a place of killing. So the guy Mukajanga, who was heading the killers, is today seated up there waiting for us. Today is a nice guy because he converted to Christianity. So we're going to see him there seated in his office, and then we shall see him in other places carrying out his work of commanding and supervising. We shall also see the place where the sharpening stone used to be, and this is where they could go and prepare their killing tools from. We shall see how they brought, because as they were walking, some of them got tired of walking and fell down. Whoever fell down was tied on the leg and the backs lying on the ground, and they pulled in such a way until they reached here on their backs. And the place is called Namugongo, which means on the backs, because they were brought on their backs. We shall see the prison where they were kept before being tortured, and then time of torture, we're going to see the tree, the actual tree where they were tied, and where they were tied and tortured. And we shall see the different ways of torture that were used, including castrations. We shall also see the fireplace where they were, and from there we shall go into a church where their remains were buried later on. And this church was constructed in 1935. Then after in here, we shall stop down where the prayers are held on 3rd June. The amphitheater was constructed there, and that is where the water body is, where the soldiers would stop to clean their tools, to wash their bodies, and to drink as they are freshening up themselves. Yes. So unless you have a question from here. Okay. So otherwise, so in 2015, the museum structure was constructed to cover up the remains of these people, all the places where all these things happened. So 2015, 28th November, we had a privilege to host Pope Francis, and he laid down this stone, launching the museum to the public. And we read all the wordings here, you see that it's not the only Pope that has visited this place. There are others, different ones. Pope Paul VI, Pope Paul V, yes, in 1969, and then Pope John Paul II in 1993. All came in this place. Yes. So we shall proceed up and have a look at the execution space. chief executioner. Then we shall leave it here to move out. This is the office, the chief executioner. This gentleman you see over there is the chief of execution. He was in charge of this place. Kings were not supposed to come to this place because in Buganda Kingdom there is a custom that kings do not see dead bodies.
Oh,
They don't bury, they don't go close to dead bodies. So for that case, this place being a place of killing, the kings were never supposed to be here. So they had a man who was the chief of execution, and this chief executioner was the one to be in charge of this execution site. So by the time of Mwanga Mukajanga, this gentleman
the one
was,
sitting there?
yes, Mukajanga was the man in charge of this place. His dress code alone can tell how brave and tough this guy is. That shows that he hunted the animal and killed it to get the skin as a crown and a suit. The men that are with him in the office were his servants, some of his soldiers, but now these ones specifically served him as advisors. There are many more outside doing other duties, but these in here were his advisors. So right now we see a communication going on between him and one of them. The one that is kneeling down is actually talking to him, because in Buganda you don't talk to your elder while standing.
Standing or sitting.
Yes, you kneel down. So even today when people are talking to the king, they bow down, or others even lie down stomach flat while communicating to the king. That's a sign of respect.
I have a question.
Yes.
So right here we have
The sharpening place. Yes. This is where they prepare weapons from, because they use sharp objects for torturing the prisoners. So that stone where they used for sharpening the tool was stationed in this place, and that is the work that we are seeing going on. So these are some of the soldiers. Their duty or their responsibility was to make sure that the weapons or the tools
sharp enough.
are sharp enough.
But let me ask, is this the real stone they used, or this just for...
This is for illustration.
Oh, okay.
This is not a real stone, but the point is the point where the stone used to be.
Okay.
Then the next point here explains the means of transport that was used for bringing these people into this place. Whoever got tired of walking, they dragged them on their backs
And pull them down.
and pulled them in such a way. So by the time you reached here, the black flesh was all taken off. Wow. Yeah. And that's why the place is called Namugongo.
Okay, let me ask you, just a curiosity. If you were part of Christianity of that tribe, what would you have done? Would you run away?
Now, it's the grace of God that can enable someone to stand. Yes, it's the grace of God. So by the grace of God, yes, I would. But with my own powers, obviously I would scatter. I would run for my life.
Maybe not. Maybe. Maybe not.
Maybe, but it's by the grace of God that yes, I would stand.
Yeah.
And because some of them ran, not because they are denouncing Christ, they had a chance to run for their lives, like you see the paintings on the walls. They were running, but when they were captured and brought back to the king, he asked them, is anyone willing to denounce? No. He said no. The grace was sufficient. And they all accepted to die. So on reaching here,
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
who's that guy with the
With
council?
the blazer and the kanzu. That is the king Mwanga.
That's King Mwanga.
Yes, the one who ordered for the killing. Yeah.
So what is he doing in this?
Now, what he's doing there, he is expressing his disappointment. That is the day when he ordered for the capture of the Christians. That's why you see, after that, expressing the disappointment, we see the Christians running. He had ordered for the capture of all the Christians. It all started from here. After a long time of ordering the Christians to stop praying and they were not listening to him, this day was a big disappointment to him when he went for a hunt. And then his soldiers were supposed to wait on him at the shores. But when he reached the island where he had gone, his gun that he was supposed to use for hunting fell into the waters, and so he had nothing to use for hunting but to come back. When he came back, these guys had discussed among themselves to go for fellowship, and they come back. But then the king found when they were not around. That is the disappointment he's expressing over there. Moving back to the palace, he still found most of them out of the palace, and that's when he ordered for the capture of all the Christians, and he got to him. That is why they are running for their lives, and when they were captured, the other paintings now show Namugongo inside this place. The torture tree having the fireplace.
Okay.
Yes. So here, now this is the prison. On capturing them and on bringing them here on foot, the soldiers had to take time to prepare themselves. But as they're preparing themselves, these guys were kept in the prison, which is right here. So this is the method they use for tying them. Using gloves. Yes.
Can you imagine the trauma they were in?
So they stayed in here until the soldiers were ready to start the executions. When they were ready, they started picking randomly, one at a time, from the prison as a tie on that tree. So as they torture this one person, the rest here are watching
Oh,
what is going to happen to them
Okay.
if they still don't denounce. But still, none of them denounced. They were all singing, happily singing, worshiping God as they wait for their turn to go onto the torture tree to be tortured. So we can proceed to the torture tree and see how they were tortured. So some were clapped, some were castrated. That lady over there is a princess.
she was a princess?
Yes. Elder sister of the king who ordered for the killing of the people.
Wait.
Yes.
The woman was the sister of the king.
Yes.
And the king ordered to kill her own sister.
Yes. When she became a Christian, she started burning down traditional shrines, places of worship, and she became a threat. So she was ordered to be killed, though she was not brought to this place. She was killed in another place called Waise. And her tomb is there, and people go there every year to remember her death.
What's her name?
Princess Catherine Nalumasi.
Princess Catherine
Nalumasi Kalala.
Princess Catherine Nalumasi.
Yes. Then you know it's the youngest. She's little. She's a 14-year-old boy. So, yeah.
This is the
That
real
is
tree.
the real tree.
Oh, okay.
But the illustration is this down here, how they were cutting, how they are pierced while on that tree. So their body parts were dismembered, their stomachs were cut open in all sides, others prostrated, all on this tree.
Is who?
The grandson.
Grandson of one of Mukajanga,
Yes.
the soldier.
Yes, that was it.
Nice to meet you, sir. Can I take a picture with you?
No problem.
Okay.
Okay. Take one with me. Can I take one also? May I? Wait, let me hide my man tits.
Yeah, it's nice. Now, I want to ask him what he thinks what his grandfather did was good.
No. He converted to Christianity.
Okay.
Yes. They are power. They
Yeah.
are power. They say, sometimes they say that if it wasn't for their grandfather, this would not be. That's what they say. So this was a place of torture. And after the torture, they had to burn. Some were burnt alive, while some were dead. This is the burning area. Burning area, they had to make sure that they first wrap the bodies in sticks of reed. These reeds were working as fuel for easy burning. They were laid on firewood in such a way that the fire moves from the legs towards the head, so that they can burn slowly but in pain.
In pain.
Those were alive, die slowly but in pain. But amidst all the pain they were going through, they were singing. They were praising.
In this moment?
Yes, they were worshiping God. So that singing of theirs is what compelled the chief executioner to also give his life to Christ, because he confirmed that surely their God is worthy. So he also gave his life to Christ. So we believe that when someone dies in Christ, they are not dead, but they're just sleeping. Even remember the words of God of Jesus when he says, do not fear those who kill the bodies but cannot kill the soul. Their bodies perished in fire, but their souls did not. That's why we see the illustration up there. Their souls being taken by the angels. And Jesus promises in Revelation chapter 2 verses 10. He does not promise good life for those who follow him. He tells us that many of us are going to be persecuted, killed, imprisoned for no reason even. But then, for those that remain faithful to the end shall be given the crown of life, that crown of everlasting life. That's the promise we stand on as Christians. So this persecution that happened to these people, it still continues. It can come today to us or tomorrow, and in some parts of the world it's happening. However, Christians today in Uganda are still being persecuted in different ways. Rejections, hatreds, beatings, and all sorts of persecutions. But amidst all those persecutions that sometimes we consider small, whoever remains faithful, it is that person that will get the crown of everlasting life.
Amen.
Yes.
Which one? Third one here.
Yes, the last matter in Uganda, killed in 1977. So then these are the kings, some of the kings.
This one?
Yes. We had so many kings in Uganda. The king that started King here was the 25th king of Uganda in 1760. So other kings that followed him up also came up using his place. Now this is the New Testament, the one who invited the missionaries after killing the Muslims who were over 70. The second one is King Mwanga, the one who ordered for the killing of the Christians, and he was the last king to use this place as a place of killing. The third one is King Daudi Chwa II. Daudi means David, Chwa II. So for him, he did not kill people from here. He became a king when he was just 3 years old. He grew into a man and also gave birth to a son. And that, the last one, the fourth, is the son. He became the first president of Uganda when Uganda got independence. He was overthrown by his prime minister Obote. He went to exile UK, and that's why he died from, leaving behind a son who is currently the king of Uganda Kingdom up to date.
What is the current one?
Kabaka Ronald Mwenda Mutebi the second. Mwenda Mutebi the second. And inside it, there are remains of the Christians who were killed and burned from here. So we shall enter in and see the big grave where all the 25 martyrs were. The Catholics were killed and the Christians, the Anglicans who were killed. All their remains and ashes. So we stop and enter in. Sunday services, it is so small to accommodate all the 1,000 Christians that come from the area. So today we're seeing some people in here worshiping and praying. Many people have come, and many of them enter the mission just because they just want to enter the church here and pray. Yes. So the church is used by both the Catholics and the Anglicans. Yeah. Since both the Catholics and the Anglicans are lay here. So now we're left with the water source where the soldiers will go and clean themselves. So it's down that side.
Before we leave, we need to take
Go up, we shall be seeing many missionaries brought in, like medication and hospitals, treating people. Education was also improved. They do many schools, taught skills like reading and writing, carpentry, joinery, bricklaying, agriculture was modernized, custom tailoring. Original points where the soldiers came to wash their killing clothes. And
After killing the people?
Yes, after killing there, you see them who are doing the cleaning of the tools. So this is the point where people are not allowed to come and fetch the water because of the establishment of the soldiers. So we made another point of people by extending this same water so that it moves through the ground and pours through the pipes somewhere out there. So right now there are people fetching that water because many people call that water holy and they take it to their homes.
for other purposes.
Yes, for blessings and all that.
Yes, that's what.
You can go there, cross here and cross there. Because the pipes are many. But there was a time where we had only one pipe, so you would have found a line here.
Oh, people filling water.
People fetching the water. But now the pipes are many, someone.
So people from the far away, they come and fetch water and go with that water back to their villages.
Yes. To find that someone who has not come, calls the person who has come, that please
Bring me some water.
water.